It is now 6:45, 1.0, opening of meeting at 6:45. Is there a need for the interpreter? Thank you. 2.0, call to order. 3.0, roll call. Merced Zamora?
Here.
Freddie Espinoza?
Here.
John Alvarez?
Here.
Sabrina Gomez?
Here.
And myself. If we can all please stand for the flag salute. Mr. Mendez, will you lead?
I'd be honored. Ready, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Four point zero, adoption of agenda. 4.1, adoption of the agenda is requested as presented with an addendum to 13.3.2, indicating it should be a replacement.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Merced Zamora. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 3.0, consent calendar. 5.1, approval of the regular board meeting minutes for September 9th, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by John Alvarez. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain. Abstain.
You abstain?
I abstain.
That would be 401 with Sabrina abstaining. 5.2, approval of released warrants dated September 4th, 2025 in the amount of $173,065.82. September 11th, 2025 in the amount of $1,295,476.15.
Motion.
Second.
The motion was made by
Freddie.
Zamora.
Merced Zamora, second by Sabrina Gomez. Are there any questions?
One question, just real
Okay.
quick. I probably should ask before, but so the California Edison, is that just for the 1 month? That amount?
Yes, these are monthly bills.
Monthly bills for the entire district?
Which one are you referring to?
The Southern California Edison.
Southern California Edison, the blue
20,380.
sheet. The blue sheet?
Yeah, it's utilities for all sites.
Yes.
20,380.
Looking for a cough drop. Any additional questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 6.0, awards presentations. 6.1, recognition of retiree.
This board, we have Dr. Gonzalez coming up to say some beautiful words for our teacher who's retiring from Farmersville High School, Miss Susan Brand.
Good evening, School Board President Lopez, esteemed board members, Superintendent Mendez, district administrators, principal staff, parents, and members of the Farmersville community. My name is Jesus Gonzalez, and I have the privilege of serving as a principal at Farmersville High School. This evening, I would like to take a moment to recognize the retirement of a valued member of our teaching staff, Mrs. Susan Moran. Although Mrs. Moran could not be here with us tonight, it is important that we acknowledge your contributions to our school and our district. Mrs. Moran has dedicated over 34 years in the field of education, with the last 5 years serving the students and families of Farmersville Unified. Her reliability and steady presence in the classroom have made her a respected and appreciated educator within our school community. As an agriculture teacher, Mrs. Moran brought both knowledge and passion to her work. She provided students with hands-on learning opportunities and helped them gain real-world skills that will serve them well beyond high school. Her classroom was a place of encouragement and consistency where students knew that they were supported. Mrs. Moran also worked closely with staff and contributed positively to our school culture. She was a dependable team member and someone others could count on to follow through and give her best effort. On behalf of the entire Farmersville High School staff and the school district, I want to thank Mrs. Moran for her years of service and commitment to our students. We wish her all the best in her well-earned retirement. Please join me in recognizing and honoring Mrs. Susan Moran.
For dedicated teaching service to the students of Farmersville Unified School District, July 2020 through August 2025, we want to say thank you to Mrs. Susan Moran and Dr. Gonzalez. If you can please do us the honor and favor of getting this to Mrs. Moran, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
8.0, public comments. Members of the public may address the board on any agenda item or other item of interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board before or during the governing board's consideration of the item. The board is not able to discuss or take action on any item not appearing on the agenda. Pursuant to board policy, the board may limit individual comments to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. Please begin your comments by stating your name.
The board asks that during public comment, everyone be respectful to speakers. Members of the public shall not interrupt or interject while another person is giving their public comment. During public comment, there shall be no use of foul language. Should a member of the public have a concern about a specific employee, we ask that you direct those concerns to myself after this meeting so that the concerns can be handled through the proper procedures. Please do not use employee or student names during public comments. School board, we have Mr. Tom Gianpietro. Agenda subject is Williams.
Good evening, school board and superintendent. I wanted to thank you for allowing me to come tonight and recap your Williams visit for this year. 53 schools in Tulare County were selected for a Williams visit. For those of you that don't know what Williams really is, it was a lawsuit in the year 2000 issued by 20 students in San Francisco Unified School District. The lawsuit was issued because the school district failed to supply the students with their instructional materials, their state adopted materials, proper furniture, and safe classrooms. After that lawsuit was won by the plaintiffs for $100 million, the State Department of Education decided that they would also adopt the process so that schools in California could be measured under the fit form that goes out, and it really looks at every single thing that's in your classroom or in your school. I have been doing Farmersville for 4 years now, and I must say that this year was probably the cleanest that I've seen in the 4-year period that I've been coming. I have a background in schools. I was a school superintendent for 17 years, high school principal, teacher, coach, did all the jobs that you do when you're working in public education. And I'm currently the president of the COS Foundation, the president of the State Facility and Modular Association, and I'm also your AXA ambassador for Region 8, which is Kern County all the way to the end of Merced. What we look at when we come into your schools, and this will be short, I'm not going to make this a long dialogue tonight, but we look at your drinking fountains, we look at your bathrooms, your windows, trip hazards, your lights, your doors, your locks, your ceiling tiles, any electrical that you have, gymnasiums, fire extinguishers to make sure that they have been signed off in a timely manner once a month. Any sharp edges that are on the campus, trip areas, torn carpets, extension cords, and more and more. We also look at your instructional materials to make sure that your adoptions are current and up to date and that they are actually in the hands of students. In some situations, school districts do not have their textbooks, but they have purchase orders to show that they have been ordered and that they're on the way, and generally we do not write that up at all because we know you've taken the initiative to do it. I work for the Tulare County Office of Education for 1 month out of the year, and that's 53 schools in 1 month. It just so happens that it's always in triple-digit weather every single year. This year, I would like to commend Jesus Zavala at Hester, Chris from Farmersville Junior High, and his assistant principal, Trista Waymeyer, and Farmersville High School Principal Gonzalez and Russell Billings for actually taking the process serious, filling out all the forms, being prepared, taking care of things before we get here rather than after we leave. And really want to commend Tony for, Tony Melendez, for walking with us and looking at each item and gaining new ideas. I think Tony is relatively new at this. This is your second year of going through Williams. But I can say that your schools have improved over time. There are some things that you can't change, and that's old. Me too, okay? It just so happens that you have some buildings that are aging, and I'm sure that you're taking a look at replacement or refurbishing or whatever you can do to make the school a better place for children and teachers as well. This year, in terms of our findings, they were really minimal. I think we had 1 or 2 lights that were out. We had a couple ceiling tiles that were stained, and of course the ceiling tiles is always a concern because we don't want mold to generate above the ceiling, and we know that sometimes a splotch on your tile is really not the problem. It could be your air conditioner or piping or whatever. But Tony has been right on that, and the principals have taken that very seriously as well. So I have to say that you got a very clean audit this year. You do know that when we write up the audit, you have 30 days to fix whatever we find. And in your particular case, the 30 days is probably no problem because you had pretty simple things to fix that you have in your storehouse already. One item that I have noticed in a lot of schools in Tulare County this year are light fixtures. And I'm talking about the light fixtures that you put in the 70s, 80s, 90s, up until now, and you had the old fluorescent lights up there. Well, you can't get those ballasts anymore, and most of us that are in the school business will run those as long as we possibly can until they need to be replaced. Now you have incentives for LED lighting, which is really a good lighting in the classroom. I've seen that quite a few of your classrooms have that in there, but really I didn't come tonight to tell you what you didn't do. I came to tell you a good job on what you have done, and it makes me proud to see Farmersville improving each and every day. You have good leadership, you have a board that cares about the schools, and you have school site administrators and a facility director that is like when Tony first got the job, we started talking. I said, Tony, remember, this is a big job. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. You can't do it all, but we've had good success, and again, that's really why I came tonight. I just felt that you needed to be affirmed that you're doing a lot of good things, and keep doing what you're doing because it's working, and I have a feeling you're going to get better. Okay?
Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, we have Ms. Nora Alston, FTA.
Good evening, board, guests, administrators. So my name's Nora Alstead. I'm standing before you tonight as the president of Farmersville Teachers Association. I want to address just a few things, bring a few things to the attention of the board. Through the last few years, we've talked a lot about teacher retention. And as we know, there are two things that you can do to really enhance a teacher wanting to stay or leave a district. Obviously, one of those is salary and benefits. The other is working conditions. You know, you either have to pay really well, have really great facilities, or balance them both. You know, this year we transitioned to two K-3 schools, one TK3, one K-3. I've been talking with the district since June, and it started even earlier than that at the school site at Hester about the need for radios. Hey, we have, unfortunately, a number of student discipline issues. I was at Hester today, and the thing that I kept hearing from people is, boy, students are more aggressive this year. Okay, you pick up the phone to try and call the office. I would say, because I was there for 3 years, maybe 1 out of 10 times somebody picked up. And then I had to deal with a phone that was like, all kinds of static in it. Teachers need radios so that if there's an issue in the classroom, they can get a hold of somebody. I keep hearing, we're getting them. We've got the money. We're going to do it. We're getting a purchase order. We're getting a quote. It's almost October. Can we please speed that up? For our students and our staff, can we please speed up the process? You now have 2nd and 3rd grade at Hester. We don't have full sets of Chromebooks at Hester, okay? I do want to say that is not Mr. Zavala's fault. He's not the one that caused that. But again, teachers can't do, Ms. Setzer can't do the things she's supposed to be doing in a reading lab because of not having a device. Teachers can't do the STAR testing that they need to do because, okay, well, here, you've got 5, just rotate the kids around. In 3rd grade, they're going to test later this year on a device. They need to be comfortable with using them. Again, we're working on getting a quote. I don't know where the holdup is. I really don't. I do want to say that 2 years ago, I worked with Mr. De Leon to get a class set of iPads, and I said, went to the teachers, what do you want? Here's specifications. Mr. De Leon, here's what they need. Can you contact Apple? I want to say maybe a week later he had a quote to me. And then we got the purchase taken care of. So I'm really baffled as to what's happening. We told teachers that we're moving classrooms, leave your tech in your classroom. Somebody else will move it. You will have everything you need in your new classroom. We have teachers that don't have printers. This was the statistics I was given today. This is, again, just Hester. 5 teachers with no printer at all, 3 teachers that have a printer that doesn't work. Again, if you tell somebody, if I leave Snowden and I've got a working printer in my classroom and I go to Hester and I don't have one at all, or I've got one that's broken, that's not a great working condition. That's discouraging. On your board packet tonight, we have a 3rd grade a teacher going from Snowden to Hester to teach 3rd grade, but we don't have a classroom for her because, again, buildings get delayed, yet I don't really know exactly what happened with our boundary study. Because at Hester we have third grade classes with 25 kids, 24 kids. We have kindergarten classes with 20 kids. We have first grade classes with 22, 23 students. And you go to Snowden, and I have to admit, it's really nice when the first grade class with 16 kids comes in. It's really nice with some of the smaller classes. There has to be something that can be, and I had, as a president, look at teachers today and go, I can't make the district change the boundary. I can't force people to go from this school site to this school site. I want to say, can we look at it? Can we look and see why we have that imbalance? Can we look at having two equitable schools? Now, this is a personal note. It is nice to hear that the Williams visit went well and, facilities are old but looking okay at the 3 sites that were visited. You've heard me say this. I'll say this again and again and again. I love the students of Farmersville. I love my classes. It's starting to get a little tough to walk on campus and pass a building that the ramp going up to it has holes in the wood. That the grip on the ramps is basically gone, and if it's wet, like we had rain recently, you have to be careful not to slide, and you have to tell the students, be careful not to slide. I have a blue line. If you come to my classroom, there's a blue line on the ramp. That blue line is so that I can tell students, please stand on the line. Don't lean on the building. Don't pick at the building. You're going to get splinters because the paint job is so, I don't know when it was painted last, but come look at it. You'll see where kids are picking at it. Sooner or later, somebody's going to end up with a splinter under the nail. I don't want that. You don't want that. Go in the staff room at Snowden, unless it's changed since yesterday when I was there, because I wasn't there today. There's a box on the floor that says, don't sit here. Why? Because we had the floor that had to be redone last year, and between the carpet and that, I don't know, is that linoleum or whatever that vinyl stuff is, the little trim is coming up, and it's a tripping hazard. Now, thank you to whoever put a box that said, don't leave this box here, don't step right here, but that was pointed out last week. And again, I'm going to say that my principal did a great job because he came in and looked at it, and he goes, I don't know who can fix this, but I'll get an order put in. But how long do we have to have a tripping hazard in a staff room? Please don't hear me wrong. I love our students. I don't want us leave Farmersville, but it gets harder and harder to go and see some of that. So I know that you have a board visit coming up. Please take a look at our facilities. Please take a look at what can we do, because it's not just the teachers that's going to be better for, it's a whole lot better for our kids as well. It's a whole lot better for our students that I love dearly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Osborne. We have Miss Stephanie Alvarez, JV Girls Volleyball.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Alvarez, parent, and I just wanted to say thank you for this platform to speak. And I want to start off by saying if we don't advocate for these kids' mental and emotional states or health, then who will? And on that note, there was an incident last week at the girls' away game, volleyball. The first match, well, I just want to start by saying these girls, they come out and they pray before the match starts, before the game starts. And after their first match, I was watching them. The coach brings them to the side and speaks to them. I looked at my phone for a second. I got I looked back up, and one kid was sitting here by herself on the chairs, one was crying, and the rest looked like their dog just died. And I was like, whoa, what happened? You know, so I asked the rest of the parents what happened, and they said, well, the coach talked to them. And I was like, they're basically just crushed their little souls. So, you know, I went and I asked the coach, you know, excuse me, coach, I was calm. What did you say to crush these kids' souls? And she said, I told them they were playing lazy. And I was like, well, that was kind of mean and harsh. And I know that's not what she said. But I said, you know, that was mean and harsh, you know. And they only lost by 5 points. So I walked away. The next match continued. They lost. So the coach talked to them again. But this time, they went to the side of the bleachers. They were sitting over there. They couldn't speak to us. They couldn't communicate to us. Their civil rights were taken away. They were told not to speak to their parents about what was said. They couldn't leave. They were over here signing to us that we couldn't sign them out from an away game. And they might as well have been sitting over there mouthing the words, help me, for whatever she told them. So, you know, my mom wanted to take, you know, the girls out, my niece out. And I told her, no, just let's play this out. You know, it's for a reason, whatever. And during the varsity match, the fire alarm went off. So as we're all exiting the building, I came across one of the JV kids, and I just told her, hey, you did a good job. It was a great game. You know, keep your head up. And her response was, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to play anymore. The coach is mentally and emotionally breaking me. And when I went to ask her what was said, she was violently pulled away from me by another student, another team member. I don't know if it was the threat of them speaking to an adult, but the coach was basically treating them as if they were prisoners, and she was the CO. So she was violently taken away, and they were yelling at her like she wasn't supposed to talk to me. So what was the repercussions? I don't know what it would have been. So I kind of lost it a little bit. I calmed down. She was signed out, and then we left. And I just feel like the coach is not mentoring these children. We went through the channels. On the next day, we went and talked to the principal and the athletic director, and she was reprimanded, yes, but come Monday, nobody had talked to the kids. They need to know what's going on. They need to know that you're vouching for them, that it's a safe space. And a lot of them were scared. They were scared of the repercussion of us, the parents, standing up for them. They didn't go to practice. 3 girls showed up. Today they had to cancel the game. So nobody's advocating for these kids. They're not telling them what's going on. They don't feel like they're safe. So I feel like something needs to be done with this sooner than later. It just happened last week, and I don't want to wait like everybody's been waiting for these little details or the repairs or whatever. This is something that will scar the children. It'll teach them that it's okay to be abused and to not speak up about it. This transfers on to their older age, and it needs to stop. And I would like for something to be done sooner than later. And you know, I thank you for your time. And that's pretty much all I have to say. And if nothing is done, I mean, I'm an alumni. I'm the first graduating class from Farmersville. Sports helped me. It was my outlet. It was the reason I came to school. And I fear if these kids don't have that, what other options do they have? And I mean, I love the community. I love this town. A lot of you know me. You see me out here doing things. And I would hate to put Farmersville in a negative light, but if nothing is done, I would go to a news outlet. And I would hate to say that, but I would like to see something done about this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for coming.
Next, we have Ms. Crystal Rodriguez-Lopez, JV Volleyball.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and board members. Before I read what I wrote, I would like to say that, yes, we did approach the athletic director, Mr. Mesa, and Dr. Gonzalez, and we had a meeting with them, and I was doing my best to allow them to do their job, and from the sounds of it, they were. However, somewhere along the line, something got leaked to the coaches that these girls are taking a stand, that these girls are protesting. And one of the girls came to me and told me that she was practically drilled by her JV coach saying, are you part of those girls? That's why you're not coming to practice? Are you part of the girls? Are you part of the girls that are gonna protest? And I'm like, really? Like, no, that's a no. So I just wanted to note that I was trying to let the process go. And after that, I can't, I'm sorry. So, as you know, my name is Crystal Rodriguez Lopez. I'm a parent of a student on the JV volleyball team. I'm here because I can no longer stay silent about how our athletes are being treated by the current volleyball coaches. My daughter is currently juggling 3 sports and her responsibilities while maintaining her grades at an AB average. She has played volleyball for 4+ years at both school and club levels. And for the first time ever, she told me she wants to quit. She is not the only one. Several of her teammates feel the same way. Why? Because instead of being encouraged, they are constantly belittled, embarrassed, and left in tears after practices and games. At a recent game in Lindsay, nearly half the girls on the team were crying because of how they were spoken to at halftime and after the game. That is not coaching. That is breaking down our children. Even more disturbing, the girls have been told that they are not allowed to speak to their parents after games, and if they do, they will be punished at the next practice. No coach has the authority to silence athletes in that way or interfere with communication between a child and their parent. That is completely unacceptable and a violation of their rights. These are not new issues. They were happening last year too. Nothing has changed. The current JV coach is supposedly volunteer, yet the varsity coach is actually the one running JV practices and games instead of focusing on her own team. She is interfering with JV, punishing our JV girls and only our JV girls, and even making the JV coach herself contradict herself. As a result, the players no longer feel safe that they can voice anything at all. That is unprofessional, unfair, and damaging. And honestly, who needs a volunteer like that? And now, it's not just hurting their confidence, it's hurting the program. Today, the JV was forced to forfeit their first league game. The girls haven't been advised that anything will change, nor have they been given the chance to speak for themselves. Their voices are being silenced, and that is why, as parents, we are here advocating for them. I am asking you as leaders of this district to take this matter seriously. These athletes deserve coaching that builds them up, not tears them down. If nothing changes, I fear more students will walk away from a sport they once loved, not only because they lost passion, but because of how they are being treated. And please know, I am fully prepared to take this matter further if necessary. Our daughters deserve better. They deserve respect, they deserve support, and they deserve action now. And I will not stop until they get it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank the Farmersville Empire, our administrators, our teachers, our staff for their dedication in creating the best conditions and for coming up and advocating. I think that's the most important piece. Your professionalism, commitment to our central, which is essential to our students' success, set a positive tone for the entire district. School events. School sites continue to host wonderful opportunities for our district families. Hester School will host its awards assembly this Thursday, the 25th, beginning at 8:30 a.m. and its annual lunch on the lawn on Friday, the 26th at 12:30 p.m. Snowden School will host and hold their character count ceremony on Friday, the 26th at 8:20 a.m. Freedom School will host its annual family literacy night on Wednesday, the 24th at 4:30, followed by its accelerated reader AR party on Thursday, the 25th at 1:45 p.m. Farmersville High School recently celebrated its 10th grade academic awards and will recognize its 11th grade academic winners on Monday, the 29th at 11:10. Student news. Farmersville FFA members achieved outstanding success at the 2025 Tulare County Fair, competing in lamb, goat, hog, rabbit, dairy, and beef divisions. Students earned top placings at champion titles, including Ramon Munoz, named champion FFA Suffolk Lamb, and Genesis Valencia earning champion FFA at lightweight goat. Strong performances continue with multiple reserve champions and showmanship titles, highlighted by Javier Guerra's reserve champion FFA Yorkshire Hog and Ran Robles first place beef steer. Across all markets, our students showcase dedication advisors, Ms. Ortiz, Ms. Moran, and Mrs. Westbrook, shared that these accomplishments reflect not only the skills of raising, showing livestock, but also the character, pride, and future leadership being cultivated through FFA. Thank you to our students and staff for representing Farmers Unified School District so well. Great things are happening, and they will continue to happen in Farmersville.
Thank you, Mr. Mendez. And that was a great thing for our FFA. Very proud of them and all our students. I'll go on to 10.0, K-8 issues. 10.1, approval of signature revision to Hester ASB account.
Motion.
Second.
Who's taking it?
Zamora?
I'll take it. Motion.
Second.
Alvarez?
Are there any questions?
No
We have a
question.
motion by Merced Zamora, second by John Alvarez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 10.2, approval of Hester fundraisers 2025 through 2026.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by Sabrina Galindo. I saw Mr. Galindo. Gomez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 10.3, approval of breakthrough coach principal / secretary online training on October 16th through 17th, 2025, and October 23rd through 24th, 2025, Freedom School.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion by Merced Zamora, second by Freddie Espinoza. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
We have a 4-0-1 with Sabrina abstaining. 11.0, high school issues. 11.1, approval of donation from Farmersville Kiwanis for Farmersville High School FFA livestock account.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by Merced Zamora. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 11.2, approval of Key Club Region Training Conference on September 27th, 2025 at Fresno, California.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by Sabrina Gomez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 11.3, approval of new professionals ag teacher professional development on November 11th through 12th, 2025 at Fresno, California.
Motion with a question.
Second.
So my question, you good?
We have a motion by Sabrina Gomez with a question, second by Merced Zamora. Yes, your question?
My only question is on the miscellaneous, we have fuel for $50. That means we're only gonna cover $50 of gas for this trip?
Dr. Gonzalez?
Oh, okay. So we're only gonna, it's only gonna be, is it coming out of theirs, the ag, or?
It says it's coming from the AIG
General fund.
and general fund.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Does your motion remain?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 11.4, approval of guitar students to Island Water Park incentive field trip on May 1st, 2026 at Fresno, California.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Sabrina Gomez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 11.5, approval of ASB athletic fundraisers, Farmersville High School.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by Merced Zamora. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are there any questions?
I do.
Okay.
I have a lot of questions. Question, so I do know that, so I see that we don't have an advisor for class of 2027 yet. Hopefully that's coming. But I have a question regarding the funds, and maybe you guys can help me understand and read it properly. Under the class of 2027, I think it's the second page, there's, for prom 2026 and homecoming event to be determined, it says not done and no income. And our homecoming's next week, right? So does that mean we don't have any income for our homecoming events this year?
We do have, finances for our homecoming week.
Mhm.
You're asking specifically about, activities, we do not have an ASB covered. As far as 2027, you just talked about, we do have actually advisors now, that will be coming to the next board meeting.
Okay. Okay, so that we are okay with our homecoming events, like we don't have any financial restrictions that are stopping them from having fun?
No, we're gonna have a homecoming week activities already planned.
Mm-hmm.
We'll approve some of those things.
Okay. One of the other questions I have regarding all, listed on here, a lot of things are like gate, concession, athletics. Is this something that's just a first come, first serve of the different teams and different clubs saying, I wanna work gate concessions, or how does that?
They communicate with our athletic director, and
Uh-huh.
then location for each of the games, gates, sporting events and such.
Okay. If we notice that there's certain clubs or teams that aren't able to raise money or bring in money in, are we advocating for them? Are we doing anything to help them try to find ways to raise money for their?
Absolutely, so it depends on if we're talking about which groups, if we're talking about class advisors, there's different, modes that they could do fundraisers, and or if it's clubs, right now we only have really a Spanish club.
That's it?
Unfortunately, that's the only, club we have, for the, person that's taking that off the budget.
Okay. All right. Maybe we can, figure out some other, like, resources or ways we can help the different clubs and sports to raise money if they're struggling in certain areas. So, we could talk, yes?
Can I just say, because I coach youth sports, I mean, when there's a need for gate or concession, all the coaches get notified at the same time.
Mhm.
Nobody is signed up, so everybody has a chance to sign up. So there are things that the athletic director sends out for those things that people can sign up for. It's just a matter of finding the folks that man
Okay.
the gate. But there are opportunities out there.
Okay.
Actually, we have one we signed up, and we actually have people down to.
Yeah.
Trying to re-advertise,
Uh-huh.
we have signed up for.
Yeah.
The opportunities are there, it's just, the money must be, participated on, with students and advisors, so.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay, we have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by Merced Zamora. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 12.0 curriculum. 12.1 approval of memorandum of understanding Farmersville Unified School District with University of Kentucky social worker internship.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 12.2, approval of CSC SEIS conference on October 1st through 3rd, 2025 at Stockton, California.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Merced Zamora. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 12.3, approval of day break medical for mental health.
Motion?
Second.
We have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by John Alvarez. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Personnel. 13.1, approval of certificated personnel, item 13.1.1 through item 13.1.2.
Motion.
I have a question, so, second?
We have a sec-
Should have
You have
motioned
a-
first.
Your second with a question. Yes, Sabrina?
13.1.2. Is there a game plan for the teacher? Is there room for this teacher at Hester?
Yeah, we're currently working through a plan with our FTA team. Is there a classroom? I think it was disclosed earlier, there is no classroom right now, so we do have a plan on how we're gonna support our teacher.
Okay. Thank you.
If you can just give us an update as soon as it's worked out, please. Are there any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. 13.2, approval of classified personnel, item 13.2.1 through item 13.2.4.
Motion.
Second.
The motion was made by,
Merced. Zamora.
we have a motion by Merced Zamora, second by John Alvarez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. 13.3, approval of extracurricular activities / coaching personnel, item 13.3.1 through item 13.3.10.
Oh, motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Sabrina Gomez, second by Merced Zamora. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Abstain.
You abstain? We have a 4-0-1 with Freddie abstaining. 13.4, personnel action report, information only. 13.5, approval of extension memorandum of understanding, MOU, between Farmersville USD, FUSD, and Farmersville Teachers Association, FTA/CTA/NEA, for special education framework.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Freddie Espinoza. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. 13.6, approval of extension memorandum of understanding, MOU, between Farmersville Unified School District and FUSD and Farmersville Teachers Association, FTA/CTA/NEA, regarding Exhibit B, certificated stipends.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by Merced Zamora. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. 14.0, board business. 14.1, approval of school board tour of facilities.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by Merced Zamora. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain, I won't be there.
You can still vote for it.
I'll vote for it.
It's 5-0. Motion passed 5-0. 14.2, consideration of any item any member of the board wishes to have on a future agenda or provide a written update. Merced?
None at this time.
Freddie?
Student, we had a student that helped us last year.
A
and,
student rep?
Yeah, we don't have one this year, so I just kinda wanna see if we can get somebody to,
I can answer that. We will have our student rep, come in at our next school board meetings. Dr. Gonzalez, would you like to share a little bit more on that?
nice.
Yes, so, Yemi's not available, come back, Emmanuel, that was his name.
Oh,
Mhm.
We actually have two executive, basically president and vice president, we just had a conversation today, about the currently on our agenda, so they will be available at the next one of our public works. So they're already there to bring the comment, present.
Nice.
okay. Thank you. Anything else? John?
Nothing at this time.
Sabrina?
You ready?
All right, here we go. Oh, no, I'm
Okay.
kidding. Go ahead.
No, I do have a list. So before, I want to make a few comments in my list of updates that I would like to see. One thing I want to point out, when you go to our school site district website and you look up under facilities, we have a statement that states, the Farmersville Unified School District recognizes a critical role that safe, clean, and well-maintained facilities play in supporting student achievement, staff effectiveness, and community engagement. The Facilities and Maintenance Department is committed to maintaining and enhancing all district properties to ensure they remain functional, attractive, and adaptable to the evolving needs of education and athletics. Our team of skilled professionals takes pride in providing high-quality service with a strong focus on health, safety, and curb appeal. We strive to promote community pride through the upkeep, repair, and restoration of our schools, ensuring that each campus fits seamlessly into its neighborhood and reflects the values of the community it serves. I don't know if we're adhering to this statement, so I would like to see improvement in that area. Part of that is things that were brought up today, as far as our facilities, things that are broken, things that aren't in the break room that was brought up. These things should be addressed. It is the safety of not just our staff, but our students and everybody else. I would like to see an update on radios, Chromebooks, and any missing equipment or printers. It would be nice to see that on the next board meeting for approval. Okay, that's one. The next one, here's my philosophy and statement. If there is an opportunity and enough students interested in participating in sports, I feel like it's very important that we do our best to support not only a freshman team, but a JV team. We need to encourage, develop, and motivate our students. Remember, when students are involved in extracurricular activities, they tend to improve their grades, which can lead to high test scores. So with that being said, can we look into seeing if there's any leadership classes that we put our coaches through that will allow them to be not only mentors, but they need to be, they need to lead, and they need to teach our students to lead. They need to teach our students to be better versions of themselves. I know Tulare County Office of Education offers a lot of leadership courses. Hopefully we're sending our students to those. I think we need to pick different students and allow them to bring back whatever they learn at those to teach their teams. So we do have to do better by our students. We do need to make sure that we are involving all students. So if they come out and they want to participate, let's find a way to make a team for them. Let's find a way to create a club for them. Let's find advisors, let's find coaches. Let's do our best, because we're supposed to be about the students, not ourselves, the students. So that's it.
Okay.
Thank you. If you need me to send you anything. Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Very well addressed. Besides leadership, you know, we always talk about mental health, and I think we need to make sure that we are addressing any issues or training, and both our coaches to be better at the way they speak to our children. I mean, this is not, you know, the first time, probably. And we need to make sure it's the last time. We need to be careful what words we use for our children. So mental health is something that gets affected. So we need to make sure that they are provided with training. I know it's difficult sometimes to get coaches, but when we do get them, we need to make sure that they're the right coach.
I'd like to add something. Basically the same thing, to be certified, state certified. Just doing an assistant coach to be state certified. If you start doing these classes, and I volunteer, so I took the state exam, and it's all about the mental health and well-being of a child. It's not about winning. It's about building character. And that's what we're trying to do. We're not doing our job. I'm along with the rest of you. I just wanted to hear it from some of the board members. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so,
So I guess it's not always too late, but if we could find a course, maybe send the current coaches that we currently have for all the sports at the high school, have them do something. Because it seems that most of them will have different sports, not just one. They do coach more than one. So I think it would be beneficial if they could all have at least be unique on the same type of training.
Could I add? I think for me, one thing is when something's put on a work order, how fast are we executing those items, and how backed up is that work order, and then who's holding the individual responsible of, hey, these are coming a little too far behind, we need to bring these back to the front, and then work our way through that work order. So if there's something the board needs to see, and if it's a work order form, like of each school, and see what everybody's actually requesting, and then we could review and see what dates they were submitted, and just, make sure that we're doing the best to execute for those who are needing just, simple things to do their daily jobs.
Process of prioritization.
yeah,
priority.
I'd like to see the work orders, not specifically the ones that have been made, but I want to see if they're marked. Are they marked like urgent, completed, safety hazard? I mean, some way of coding them so that we know which ones are top priority. Of course, safety is top priority, always. So, but if we want to see that so we know how it's being done, how it's being run, correct?
Can I summarize everything? Mr. Merced Zamora's certification for coaches, I believe we've done that in the past, so it'd be reinstating that. For Mr. Freddie Espinoza, we heard board representative, which were there. We also heard about accountability and work orders and guaranteeing that those things are being done. From Mr. John Alvarez, I heard certification of classes through CIF. Also the importance of guaranteeing students. It's not necessarily about winning, but creating good citizens here in Farmersville. From Ms. Sabrina Gomez, district website, we talk about a mission and a vision and statement. It was addressed by our FTA partners. Are we adhering to that statement? We have to address the brokenness of our certain areas of our school sites. We have to address the immediate from a safety perspective. Okay, we talked about Chromebooks and printers and all the things that are needed at Hester School. We've talked about safety and radios, all those things, and should be done immediately. We are working on that. To Mrs. Alsted's point, this is an urgency piece. For Mrs. Alice Lopez, addressing the issues of mental health and speaking to our children and making sure that we focus on the certification as well. Did I capture it all?
I believe so. Okay,
So,
thank you. Moving on to 15.0, business services. 15.1, new school building project procedures, information only. 15.2, approval of recommendation of architectural firms for future Farmersville Unified School District projects.
Motion with the recommendations.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Merced Zamora to go with the recommendation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. 15.3, consideration for replacement and removal of older vehicles.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Sabrina Gomez. Is that correct?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. 15.4, presentation of FUSD energy costs.
Good evening, Board, President Lopez, Superintendent Mendez. So upon request from Mr. Alvarez, I have some data for you to share with you tonight. It's a 6-year span looking back at some of our utilities, and so I'll try to go slow. It's a lot of data, but if there's any questions, please ask away. So we looked at a span of 6 years, utilities costs of water, gas, and electricity. So the general summary and theme is that, yes, we found fluctuations in the cost of what we were paying annually. Some of the, I think, factors that I want you to keep in the back of your mind is this span of 6 years happened at the beginning of COVID, when everything shut down, which gives us actually a kind of a nice base data point, and then reopening, and we see the fluctuations, and some of those things are market rates, market-driven costs, but I'll go over them and you can see the data. It is in the packets as well. So this is just a simple line graph. That top line, that's our electricity. That first year, the cost is $459,000. That's right at COVID time, that school year. And then the peak was last in 23-24, nearly doubled, right? So you see pretty much 100% increase up to 963,000. And then a slight dip there last year, down to about 700,000. So with the other utilities, such as gas, you do see that peak there, which is 261,000. The base was 53. And then, 24, 25, or 23, 24 and onward, you kind of see them level off. Water is pretty much the one that's pretty consistent. So not very, very much in terms of fluctuation of costs. Any questions on this one?
Do we know the reason for the peak in the gas?
Yeah, yes. And so the general answer for that is that was a period of time where everybody started seeing rising costs for utilities and energy. And so in the state of California, for example, with Southern California Edison, SoCal Gas, anything upwards to 67% increase. And so we're not exempt from that. Certainly, and I have this further down in the presentation on what our next steps are. And so obviously we want to do some assessments of our usage and other things like that, practices.
Okay,
managing.
I'll wait for your presentation.
Yeah, so I'll get to that point.
Okay, thank you.
But good question. So this one here is kind of what I've already mentioned. You see that base on electricity, you see the peak, and then you see a slight leveling off last year. And so obviously, we'll keep monitoring those costs. The release of the warrants that you approve, right? We see the Southern California Edison costs in there, and so those are our monthly costs for sites. And so as you continue to encounter and look through that report, just know that those are, because we're always paying on time, we have to pay on time, and so those are monthly costs. So that one in particular for this board packet, that was for August. So I mentioned gas, there was again a peak there, 22, 23. Same theme of rising cost of this utility as well. And so last year, then seeing a leveling off again. But the base again was 53,000 in 2019, 2020.
Was it because it was during COVID and we didn't have anybody in school?
I think that's what I'm inferring,
Yeah.
that, operations shut down, right? Less use of facilities. So naturally, we had some savings there. And so, but then we reopened and then, everything went back into full gear. Some of the things that maybe for the leveling off that I'm inferring here is that might have, are associated with a slight decrease. We did get a new chiller system. Obviously, there's more assessment we need to do to really try to pinpoint what it was, but that's what we'll do as part of our next steps. So gas peaked at 261. I did include some data on the types of increases that we saw. This is water and sewer, so slightly more level spending, even though they went up, but not compared to what you see on this next slide, which is kind of everything grouped together. So obviously electricity is our highest cost, but we did see some peaks in gas, water much more stable. So, what does this mean? What are the trends that we've seen? So we've seen some increases in rates. So fluctuations, what are the, those were the patterns over the past 6 years. It's just increase, and you saw that in the line graph, specifically with electricity. Water is more stable. In terms of what our next steps will be, so, for those fluctuations, I think the recommendation would be for budget planning is to build some room specifically for electricity, obviously backed up with some more assessment. I have reached out to Southern California Edison, see if I can speak with one of their reps, and they can really educate me more thoroughly on our profile as a consumer and what our peaks are. Obviously, we know that the summer period is high peak because of the heat. And so we'll look at that and talk to them as well. Perhaps there's some initiatives that we can implement, and that would be through our MOT department, working with our staff. We can certainly look at thermostats and making sure we can control the temperatures and keep more stable temperatures throughout our facilities. Risk management is having contingency plans, perhaps looking at projects, for example, like at Hester where we have that new solar project. So that would help to, take some costs down. We obviously are almost done with that one. We have one here at Freedom. And so we already have like a model for what we can do. So replicating that would be something to consider.
Question. Can you see individually each school site what they're drawing in, and then are you able to see what that solar power actually did for Hester location? Like, this is where we were. Now that we have it on, this is where we're at. Do we have like a number? Do we have a number of what that actually affected in the bill?
Yeah, definitely. We do have it broken down by site. Hester solar is still not hooked up. So over time, we will be able to monitor that and see what kind of impact that had on that utility bill. But we can certainly track by site. Yeah, and we have been doing that. Yes.
And then
so we can really drill down and pinpoint.
Nice. And just to confirm, the numbers you're showing us, it's all the school sites put together?
It's total cost.
Oh, okay.
this might be more of a Tony thing, but the system, solar was designed for X amount percentage for that Hester site. You know what that was?
I don't know the full percentage
Yeah.
of that. I know we are gathering capacity,
Yeah.
and there are completing, so we could bring on monitor the system as well. So yes.
Yeah, 'cause we're,
On our final stages. So,
I guess the big key would be if we're gonna spend, almost $1 million a year in electricity, we might want to pick the big schools that are drawing the most power and move in those directions first. Because in the summertime, we're not here, but we're getting the big bills in the summertime as well.
We do have summer school.
Yeah, but not the whole, all sites. So that's what I was wondering now. And then too, we can find out what the percentage is on these solar things we're putting up and how we're getting that money saved coming back, which we won't know until maybe next year by the time we hook it up and we get it running. But, yeah, we definitely need to move forward with a solar plan of something, you know what I'm saying?
So we'll look at by school site and then target the high
Yeah.
cost ones and
Yeah.
see what we can do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
No more questions.
I'm just wondering, is our well still working here at the high school?
yes.
That's the only one that has a well, right?
Yes, it does have a well. We just recently met with the contractor to do an update, some update rating. We checked the hertz and its rating. It's keeping up with our irrigation a lot better than we used to. So now we just actually have better pressure irrigation to provide both sites, Freedom and High School. So it is operating at 100%.
So possibly the expenditure there would be less at the high school for water than
It
the
will
other
be less,
sites.
yes, our pump will be operating less at the high school now because the assistant pressure of the newer Freedom sump pump will help maintain that.
Okay. And then, did we figure out that we are actually not getting anything from our solar panels here at Freedom?
No, we are creating some solar.
Some solar savings there.
Percentage, yes.
The issue that we're working on now is the efficiency of the current solar farm that we have at Freedom School is not at the very best. There's newer technology out there. I believe there's a presentation coming up next that will help answer a lot of these questions.
Okay.
Are they getting washed so that we
They're
can,
getting cleaned.
We're trying to do our best, while we appreciate in, we're trying to,
yes.
again, the condition of the solar panels, the safety nets of the wires that they are, but we need to make sure we assist and activity on the one that we can.
Okay.
Maybe we could have the teachers go out there maybe.
That's our science project, right, for the kids.
Can we create solar?
Field trip.
Field trip to the solar panel. So we're gonna have, we currently have solar panels here, we have solar panels that are not connected at Hester, and then,
Pending plan at Snowden School and potentially junior high.
Yes.
We're currently working with a company. We're just
yeah,
mitigating some
there
things.
was some, yes, there was some issues, so we're kind of behind the ball on their solar panels, so we're hoping to see some savings. So that sounds pretty good. We do, I understand that we do use electricity at all the sites, even during the summertime, because that's when our custodial staff is out there working, but yeah, I don't think they have to have all the lights on if they're working in rooms. So we just need to be cognizant that we turn the light off. So, do we have those little motion things in our rooms or not?
So that's to do presentation, newer devices we can put in place. I think Ms. Monroe will present newer and efficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As we go into solar and then Tony going into electric heat pumps and things of that nature, that assist us in solar instead of the gas bills, you know what I mean? Slowly but surely, yeah?
So then, sorry, just to like piggyback on that, how old are the solar panels we have right here at Freedom?
Those are about 8 years.
So, I guess moving forward for me would be, will the new panels we receive outlast 8 years with the company that we're hiring and bringing in? Because it's a big project to spend on, and then also just getting insurance and being able to upkeep and making sure that what we do install, it could last longer than, maybe just 20 years or 10 years at least. But
I'm just gonna say, I think the beauty of technology is that every 3 months, something new, updated, and, technology is consistently on. Something that was done 8 years ago, whether it's the harnesses, I'm not too technical, but a gentleman's here to present some ideas.
okay.
Just the harnesses, the way things are connected, the loss of electricity from the length of runs, all those different things do take into effect. I'm not sure if I fully answered your question, but I believe the new technology does address some of those.
Okay. Anything additional with this presentation?
Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you, sir.
We really appreciate you looking into this, and we look forward to the breakdowns and that you will provide us later. Thank you.
I'm gonna hang around to do the next one,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it's you?
So,
to do the introduction.
okay, let me see, this would be 15.4, presentation of FUSD, no, we just did that one, right?
15.5.
15.5, presentation by Jay Langer with Echo Green Solutions.
Well, good evening again. So tonight we wanted to bring Jay Langner, who's here with us tonight with Echo Green Solutions. So I'll give you the summary of this next agenda item. So Echo Green Solutions is an energy services company currently working with the state of California to retrofit facilities with state properties. They perform free energy surveys at school sites to show monthly energy savings by retrofitting school facilities and to offer cost-effective solutions. So tonight, Jay, who came here in person to present, will touch on Southern California Edison's program that you see from the list of things that they address there, and we'll also cover the ECAA program. And so those are in your packet to refer to. And so I'd like to go ahead and welcome Jay Langner up to the podium. And Jay, I left you a copy of the agenda.
Hello. So as he was mentioning, we do come in and we do a comprehensive free audit. We'll look at all the facilities and we'll look at them from two perspectives. One would be the Southern California Edison program, and what that would cover is, and this has just come out, Edison is doing the same thing now that Pacific Gas and Electric has been doing for the last 15 years. So it's a mirror match where we're gonna look at lighting, even if it's LED, if it's older LED, and say you had a one of these lights here and it was 17 watts or greater, it could potentially be upgraded to lower LEDs. But we would look at that and see if you could get a substantial savings on that. So we're going to look at lighting, interior, exterior. Exterior lighting is going to include ball field lighting if you have that. We'll look at pumps, motors, which would be refrigeration freezer motors, walk-in, anything that's commercial grade, not just a stand-up freezer that you'd buy at Home Depot, but commercial grade. We'll look at irrigation motors, well pumps, lift stations, anything like that. I can't remember if you had those, but just giving you the full spectrum of what we would look at. And then we do look at HVAC with this program. The HVAC, it's not a full replacement through the Southern California Edison program. It is adding drives, putting in a new motor and adding a drive to it to make it more efficient. So if that particular HVAC unit is 7, 8, 10, 12 years old, it could benefit from this because you're going to add longevity to the unit and you're going to save a lot of energy. If it's a 25-year-old unit, you're going to look at remove and replace. But so it would benefit the program if it's somewhere in the middle, at least 5 years old. So that's how we look at it through the Edison program. We have an auditor come out and we have an engineer come out to look at any of the engineering measures. And we put together an audit, which I think everybody would have a copy of a sample. One of the samples was one I did at the Solana County Fairgrounds, just for lighting purposes only, just to give you an idea. Basically, it's going to show you what you're paying per kilowatt hour, and then the hours of operation. And so it's really easy to quantify what you're going to be saving on the lighting if you, go by what you're paying per kilowatt hour, and then the operating, and then what's the actual light. If it's an exterior light, maybe it's a 400 watt, and by replacement we would replace it to about an 85 watt LED, and it's going to be a substantial savings and get you a better pattern of lighting than the older stuff. So that is that example. The other example was one I did at the Mojave Fish Hatchery, and that's we added variable frequency drives to some of the large motors there, which was a state of California project, and that saved them a ton of energy. This particular program is paid for by the monthly energy savings. So, for example, if you had a pump that was costing you $1,000 a month every month to Southern California Edison, and say you weren't going to change the pump, it would be better to add a variable frequency drive to it, and it could run at 70% instead of 100%. So by bringing it down to a lower running rate, it would save quite a bit of money, and say you could save $300 per month. So that $1,000 bill now is $700, and what Southern California Edison will take is most of that savings that you're getting and add it back to your bill to pay for the project until it's paid off. So it will have an ROI on it, but that's going to depend on, again, usage and what you're paying per kilowatt hour. Typically, pumps and motors, you're under 5 years. Lighting projects sometimes will go higher, just because a lot of times when you're not just doing offices that are running, all day, you're replacing stuff in a restroom that's barely used, if you want to. So it can all be combined together, and then it can all be looked at separately. So if you wanted to just do a few classrooms, you could do that under the program. If you wanted to combine them with refrigeration freezer pumps, it would create a lower ROI, and the project would be paid off quicker. So by the energy savings, you're paying on your bill. It's called on-bill financing, so it would be on your bill. There's no PO and no invoice, and there's no interest rate on it. And it's something that if the district did get a grant on it, once the project's completed, you can just pay it off with no prepayment penalty. So that's the SCE side, and that's where we come in and look at. But we also look at it, if you're interested, through another focus, which is called ECAA. It's a program that it's been around a couple of years, but for school districts, it offers the same 0% interest, but it will go up to $3 million per district, whereas the SCE program will go to, actually they're raising it to $400,000 per meter. So every meter can go up to $400,000 per project. The SCAA program, or ECAA program, will go up to $3 million per project. The ECAA program will cover full HVAC replacement, solar, battery storage, whatever you want to do. It's really a full building envelope upgrade. However, you do need to put it together, that same ECAA project, like you're doing the SCE, where you come in and you do an audit, gather all your information. It's a much longer process, just to let you know. So we always look at what can be done through the Edison program first, and then everything else would go to the secondary program if you were interested in doing that. But we would look at both of them, put them together, and see what made sense to you. So with the ECAA, you can really include anything in it. And solar, we can look at solar if that's an interest, but it's the ECAA, the Southern California Edison program can be actually from starting our audit to putting it together to getting it approved through Edison. You're talking about maybe a 4-month process to full installation, which we do everything, start to finish, turnkey. We do our own installation. We don't sub anything out. Your ECA program could take a year to a year and a half, just to let you know. And because we're not, they don't work the same way as Edison. It's like they have a pool of money. It's the same pool. So all this money to come to pay for these projects is from the Public Purpose Fund, which everybody in the state of California pays into. And so then the Public Purpose Fund, they're regulated by the CPUC, and the CPUC says, we want you to use this money for these types of programs. So Edison pulls from the pool, PG&E, San Diego Gas and Electric, everybody pulls from that pool. When we do our project, we front everything, we do all the work, we will get paid after the project closes, and we do a walkthrough, and you sign a post-installation agreement. So there's nothing up front, there's zero out of pocket. For us to come in and do the surveys, the audits, it's all free, no obligation. It just requires signing a contract. And that contract is non-binding. It just allows us to get into your energy usage and put together an audit like this for you, and then we sit down and see if and what makes sense to you.
Question?
Is there any questions, Merced?
No, I got it.
Ready?
So, right now, just for clarity, you're saying first we could just sign a contract with you just to come and do the audit, no charge to us.
Correct.
And then with the information you give us after, then we make a decision on which route we want to go.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so then, back to the payback. So then, say you installed everything, we're actually saving money. So with the savings, you're saying, is it the responsibility of the district to write a check to that,
Edison.
to that loan that we have, or?
Yeah, it's on your bill. It would be on your bill. So it would be a line item on the bill. So you should be getting the energy savings for doing that actual upgrade project on your bill. So you're gonna see a reduction there, but then you'll see an addition at the same time. So of that example I gave you of that $300, not the whole $300 will go towards paying it monthly, but most of it. So you get, a tiny little savings. Sometimes it's 1 to 5%.
So then to finish paying off that loan matters on the amount we're actually saving. So say it might take a year, it might take 2 years with the amount.
Yeah, you'll see that up front when we provide the audit.
Okay.
It'll show exactly what the ROI, and you see if it makes sense. And if there's some of the line items you say, we can live without this, or we don't need to do these, we can take them off, and it'll adjust.
Okay.
And whatever works for you.
Nice.
But again, there's no out-of-pocket whatsoever here, and there's no obligation for us to do the audits. And we do everything start to finish too. So we will submit this, if you're interested in the next steps, we do submit it to a third-party engineer who looks at all the calculations, and then it goes to Southern California Edison for final approval. So 3 sets of engineers are gonna be looking at everything.
John?
My question is, who's paying the labor?
What?
Who pays the labor?
Well, it's part of the project. So,
Okay.
yeah, it'll be prevailing rate, and it'll be part of the project. So everything you're gonna see on the audit is gonna have your cost breakdown will be the fixtures and the replacement costs and the installation, the whole team.
Okay, you said that after the project is finished, then you get paid, so who pays you?
So Southern California Edison, once you sign a post-installation agreement, so that would mean you're signing an original contract with them for us to install, right? So now we've gone through and installed, and then we do a walkthrough with you and make sure that you're happy with the installation. There's another contract and that's the post-install agreement, and you check off and make sure everything's there. Then that's also guarantees you that the project's gonna be done and completed before you pay for it. And then we send that to Edison, and then Edison pulls from that pool of funds regulated by the CPUC, and then we get paid back.
Okay. John, can you help me remember, did we do this not maybe 5 years ago or something?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
That's why I was asking about the labor, prevailing wage. It is what it
Okay.
is.
Are there any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you very much
Thank you.
for coming out.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Monroy.
did you have anything further that you wanted to add?
No, I just wanted to thank Jay for coming out, and
Yes.
certainly we can circle back with the board. Whatever decision you make, we can circle back and provide additional information.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Travel safely.
And I think I'm up again, so I'll stick around.
Okay, 15.6, Go Bond Fund 212, update, second issuance.
All right, well, good evening again. In your packet, you'll see there's a budget report. So really wanted to update you on the status of the second issuance, and so we have completed that. It's a $2.8 million bond issuance, Measure Z. And so we have received the funds. They are sitting in our treasury account in the GO bond Fund 212. And so as, sticking to our commitment to see through this bond measure, we have drawn down that money now. The budget report does show you the deposit, you can say, and then some fees associated with this transaction, which include legal fees, credit rating fees, and paying the company that helped us to sell the bond to the market and present the bond to the market to get investors to, purchase it. And so that has been completed, and it is now in our accounts. And so we'll proceed with any projects that are part of Measure Z and using these funds. They do have a 3-year period where we should encumber them for a project, and so that is our intention. And so, not sure if any questions regarding this issuance.
Merced?
No, thank you.
Ready?
Nope.
John?
No,
Sabrina?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
that was easy.
Easy one. And as a follow-up, we did complete the bond audit, and so we'll be bringing you the bond audit probably at the next board meeting, soon after we meet with the Citizens Advisory Committee for the bond. And so we'll present that to you also most likely in the month of October, of course, and so either the first or second meeting of October.
I have a question regarding the advisory committee. I noticed that we have 3 members. Is there still opportunity for others to join that committee, or is that done, or are we at our full?
We currently have 4 members.
Oh, okay. On the website, I think I saw 3, but maybe there's,
We'll have to make sure we update that.
okay.
Thank you.
So we're good?
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
let's go.
Okay, going on to 16.0, other business. 16.1, approval of legal services agreement for special services.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Freddie Espinoza. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, 5-all. 17.0, future meeting dates. 17.1, October 14th, 2025, and October 28th, 2025. We're all good? Everybody's good for those dates?
Perfect.
20.0, adjournment to closed session at 8:19 to discuss 20.1, conference with labor negotiator GC 54957.6. It is the intention of the board to meet in closed session to review its position and to instruct its designated rep, agency designated representative Manuel Mendez, name of organization, FTA/CSEA/management. 20.2, public employee discipline dismissal release complaint, government code 54957. 20.3, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D, 2, and E of section 54956.91 case. We are adjourned to closed session. seconds, guys.
Because eventually we might have to vote on it.
Freddie's, oh, there he is.
Freddie's here.
I thought he was gone, so. Let me know.
I'm here. Present.
Are we on then? Okay. We're going back into session at 9:31. 21.0, action taken on closed session items. 21.1, conference with labor negotiator, BC 549.7.6. It is the intention of the board to meet in closed session to review its position and to instruct its designated rep, agency designated representative, Manuel Mendez, name of organization, FTA/management, no action. Continue with negotiations. 21.2, public employee discipline dismissal release complaint, government code 54957, no action. 21.3, conference of legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D 2 and E of section 54956.9, one case, no action. 22.0, adjournment at 9:32.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by John Evers, second by Sabrina Gomez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-all. Meeting is adjourned.
Okay.